evening and thank you for joining us. Jack, hockey's sort of become not just a man's sport, you know, but there's women's teams now, but AJHL, pretty much a man's world.
It is, but Emirates Mashmeyer proving that she's got what it takes to go with the boys there, and she had an interview with Mike, and I feel bad for her. Mike asked some pretty tough questions, but she did a good job. That's coming up in sports.
Look forward to that, Gerard, and pretty gorgeous day out there, really. It was pretty balmy, really.
Yeah, it did take its time about warming up, mind you. Those winds from the southwest eventually beginning to push on in, and maybe a bit more overcast than we would have liked it. But let's see what we're dealing with here, right? We're still seeing some clouds building up across the region. We eventually did get to 5. We forecast 4 yesterday. We got to 5 just after 3 o'clock there. The humidity hanging in the 60s at the moment. And the wind gusts, they certainly took their time about coming. Generally speaking, for the course of the day, we've been south, south, southeast, anywhere from 15 to 28. But in the final couple hours, we have pushed up to 48 kilometers out of the southwest, where the warmer air is coming from. So as we compare across the region, we're seeing a buildup of cloud cover in the Cold Lake area, as well as in the Battlefords. And for us and our Cold Lake area, running a 30% chance of some flurries later on in the evening. But we'll chat all about that in the second segment.
Near Vegreville last night at around 9 p.m., a 30-year-old man from Calgary was driving a Pontiac G8 eastbound on Highway 16 and collided with a silver 2001 Ford Taurus that was westbound in the eastbound passing lane. The Ford Taurus was driven by a 69-year-old woman from Vegreville. Both were transported to St. Joseph's Hospital in Vegreville by ambulance, and the woman, who had more serious injuries, was then transported to the Royal Alexandra Hospital in Edmonton via Stars, but she later succumbed to her injuries. The male driver was held for observation in Vegreville. As a result of the collision, eastbound traffic was shut down for about an hour to allow police and emergency crews to clear the scene and investigate the collision, which is still under investigation, but road and weather conditions were good, and alcohol does not appear to have been a factor. No names are being released pending notification of next of kin. With the challenge of convincing the Alberta government to rezone Cold Lake's air weapons range to the city a success, Council now has the challenge of deciding where the new revenue will be used. As Clayton Brown explains, last night, City Council held a public open house to show residents where that money has been allocated.
It was a long journey for Cold Lake City Council to finally get the air weapons range under its jurisdiction. But the road ahead isn't getting any shorter, as Council has big plans for the newfound revenue.
We have a serious plumbing problem in Cold Lake, and just small projects like we have no backup generator for our water treatment plant. We have other issues like fire halls and fire trucks, so we have no shortage of projects.
The problem surrounding the sewers and wastewater is projected to cost anywhere from $64 to $84 million to correct, which is a third of the cost of all the projects that need to be completed.
They have to pay attention to the big problems that we have. Infrastructure is a huge issue, and our roads are definitely problematic, so I think that has to be coordinated.
It's a long time coming, and you know, hopefully things will get better for the future of this place here.
The open house was a chance for the public to see where the money is going and also give some feedback. But Copeland says the presentation was more an information session.
It's an awareness, it really is. It's sort of you get it out there, get the information out, and then, you know, Council's job is to figure out which capital projects are the highest priority, and, you know, overwhelming support is to fix your plumbing.
Council is stressing that an undertaking of projects this size is going to take some time. In Cold Lake, Clayton Brown, Newcap News.
It's a tradition that's lasted over 3 decades in the border city, helping nearly 200 families celebrate Christmas last year alone. The gift of Christmas is in full swing. As Lauren Pullen tells us, this year, some newcomers have come to the table to show their support.
Rod Kirby has been a part of the Lloydminster community for over 30 years.
This community's done a lot for me, helped me succeed. I think it's important that everyone that is a part of this community give back to people that are less fortunate.
This year he's decided to lend a helping hand himself, collecting toys for the gift of Christmas.
It's something the whole community can be really, really proud of. I mean, when we walk in and give a single mom who has 3 children gifts for the whole family, you can just see your eyes light up.
2011 marks the toy drive's 31st anniversary, but Price says now more than ever they need people to donate.
The need keeps getting higher. The need keeps rising, which is unfortunate but true.
In line with that trend, the need in the community last year was higher than it ever has been since the toy drive began. But this year, the gift of Christmas has more drop-off locations than it ever has before. Community members can drop off their toys in 5 separate spots. As a father himself, Rod says every kid should have something to be excited for over the holidays.
I believe that every child should have a gift under the tree at Christmas time. I think they should always have a smile on their face come Christmas morning.
For those who want to give back, the gift of Christmas runs until midway through December. Lauren Pullen, Newcap News.
Today was an eventful day for one small town in the Midwest. Automated Tank Manufacturing Incorporated has been around for just a few years, but is making a huge impact in people's lives around the world. Peter Quinlan explains.
Today marks a milestone for Kit Scotty's largest manufacturing plant.
The 1,000th tank was sold to our very first customer, but that bought our first 1,000-barrel tank.
Automated Tank Manufacturing Incorporated has only been around for a short time, but has grown quickly.
They've gone from 0 to, 1,000 tanks in 3 years.
Avalon Exploration has bought 70 of the 1,000 tanks built here, taking them to their well sites across the prairies.
Set 23 meters away from where the wellhead is, and then the wellhead produces from the wellhead through a series of pipes into this tank, and that's where the sand, the water, and the oil is. It's actually basically separated in this thing.
This is the factory where the tanks are being built. As you can see, there's no one here right now. Workers are taking a break for lunch to celebrate and to prepare for their next big project.
Today is our kickoff for a Christmas toy drive.
For the past 3 years, this room has been filled with a flood of toys. Bowser hopes this Christmas is the same and encourages the community to step up again.
I would ask that everybody, take a moment in their mind and understand that the good things that they do today will come back to them tomorrow.
Toys and clothing for children are now being accepted. If you'd like to donate, there are 2 options available.
They can be dropped off here at any given time, or if they phone Automated Tank, we'll be more than happy to have somebody pick them up through the week.
The drive wraps up on December 18th with a big celebration. Food, sleigh rides, and even Santa Claus will be at the event, all to put a smile on a kid's face.
Later in that day, we'll be delivering all those toys over to Salvation Army so that they can get it distributed out through Santa's helpers.
Peter Quinlan, Newcap News.